you don't necessarily want that one slick, straight, like low-key wig. It's nice to have something that can kind of go either way. And Chelsea is pretty good for that. But here you can even see just by looking at them here. So with these heat-friendly fibers, you do have options to switch it up a little bit, which is a lot of fun. Hi everybody, welcome to the Chiquel YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and today I'm going to give you a little bit of a style comparison. I have Chelsea by Belle Tress on my head right this second, and I'm going to compare it to another popular wig by Belle Tress called Calabasas. So before I jump into all of it, I'm going to remind you to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can learn even more about alternative hair. So lately I've had a lot of people ask me about Chelsea by Belle Tress, and I realized I don't have a ton of content out on Chelsea. So I wanted to make sure I tackled this one. I do have a review on Calabasas. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over Chelsea a little bit and then show you how it compares to Calabasas, because like I said, they are similar, but there definitely are some differences too that we should note, and it might help you decide which one will be best for you. So let's start with Chelsea here that's on my head. Now, if you know Belle Tress, you know that the majority of their wigs, like 99% of their wigs, are going to be low density. So when I say density, I'm talking about how much hair is actually tied or sewn onto the cap. A low density means there's not as much hair. So Belle Tress is a really great brand to start out with if you are someone who has been experiencing significant hair loss and you're not looking to make a huge leap from like hair loss to suddenly a huge head of hair. And you want to make that transition a little bit more seamless and a little bit less scary. So Belle Tress is a really great brand to start with, not only, like I said, because of their density, but also because they're going to have a pretty natural hairline, a pretty natural illusion of scalp at your part line too. And you're also going to love the feel of the fibers. So all of Belle Tress wigs are made out of heat-friendly synthetic fibers. So this is not human hair, but this is also not just regular synthetic. This is heat-friendly synthetic, which means you can use heat up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius on this fiber. You can curl it if you want to, you can put wave into it if you want to, you can straighten this if you want to. However, one thing to note about heat-friendly synthetic fibers is that it requires heat in order to maintain the fiber. I've done a lot of videos on how to maintain heat-friendly synthetic wigs, so make sure you search through my channel on using heat tools on heat-friendly synthetic fibers. But just a basic rundown of it all is that you'll notice that the ends of your fibers will get frizzy pretty quickly within like the first few wears, if I'm being quite honest with you. And that does not mean your wig is faulty and it's ready to throw out. That just means that it's time for you to add some heat and maintain it. So all you need to do is spray it with water at your ends, run a hair straightener, a hot airbrush, a hot comb, some form of heat through the ends, and it's gonna make your fibers as good as new. So make sure, like I said, go back and watch my videos on that. I'm not gonna do a whole tutorial on how to do that right now because this is about Chelsea. So let's keep on moving and learn more about Chelsea here. So like I said, Chelsea is a lower density style, meaning there's not a ton of hair on her. Let me give you a little spin of this so we can see this whole thing first. So when I grab all of the fiber up here, you'll see that I'm not grabbing a ton of hair. So that just kind of shows you that it is a nice low density piece. And while I'm here, you can see that this does work in a ponytail, right? The fibers go back in a ponytail. These ones in the front will not quite fit. However, I prefer that because whenever I do ponytails or updos, I prefer to have some sort of a soft face framing layer in the front to help disguise the hairline, to help make it look just a little bit more dainty, not as perfect. And it just, in my opinion, makes it look a little bit more natural instead of pulling it all back. That just doesn't quite do it for me. Anyways, so you're gonna have these sort of chin framing layers in the front that gradually melt into the rest. You can see the layers kind of cascading down in the front here to then go down to the bottom. So other than these nice face framing layers in the front here, You're gonna find a little bit of layering throughout the rest of the style. It's not gonna be extravagant though. There's not a ton of layering, but enough to make sure that the ends are not a blunt cut and they're a little bit feathery. And now, although Chelsea is a straight style, it's not a stick straight style. So you're gonna notice how there is a little bit of structure to this longer layered bob here. It's gonna wanna curve in a little bit, and then you're gonna see that the layers in the front are gonna go back. They're gonna kind of curl away from your face. So Chelsea is going to have a lace front here. So does every other single wig made by Belle Tress. They all will have a lace front. Now Chelsea is from their City collection, their British City collection, and all of the City collection caps are basically the exact same. The only thing that's going to be different on all of their City collection caps are going to be the placement of their monofilament part, which we will talk about in a second. But they're all going to have this beautiful lace front here. You're going to find the knotting is quite small. I've always been quite pleased with Belle Tress's City collection lace fronts. Especially in this color. This is Coolest Ash Brown, which unfortunately is a discontinued color. They have now created a Coolest Ash Brown rooted. However, this one is not the rooted version. This is the discontinued Coolest Ash Brown. Now, if you are still looking for this particular color, you're not gonna find it on our main website anymore. You're just not gonna be able to purchase it there. However, you can find this color still in some styles if you go and become a member of our Facebook support group called Chiquel's Neighborhood. In Chiquel's Neighborhood, not only are you going to find support from tens of thousands of women who are going through the same thing as you, who are going to provide you education, inspiration, friendship, and, you know, a sense of community, but I also do sales a couple of times a week in Chiquel's Neighborhood where you can get a really great discounted price on discontinued colors or discontinued styles. So if Coolest Ash Brown is a color that you absolutely need in your life, then come and become a member of my group Chiquel's Neighborhood, where you might be able to find a few styles left in this color. Now let's move on from that lace front and talk about this part line here. So Chelsea here has a center monofilament part. So the monofilament is basically like a harder lace-like material where all of the fiber is hand knotted into that monofilament. And that gives you the illusion of growth right from your scalp. Plus it allows you to change the part wherever that monofilament is. Now, like I said, Chelsea has a center monofilament part, meaning there's only about an inch or so of space where you can part it. So it has that center part. You could have a slight left part. Like that's as far as I can part it without going into the seam and all of the machine wefted part of the cap. That is as far as I can part it to my left side. So it's very slight, as you can see. And if you want to, you could even adjust it a little bit if you are comfortable with having some lopsided ear tabs, if that works for you. So it can kind of go slight left if you want it. Or of course, a slight right. Let me get it all the way to the right and then adjust a little bit. Then you have a slight right part if you wanted. But it is designed for that center part. Let me get it there. So if you are a center part gal, then Chelsea might be your girl. What I love about Chelsea is that it is just a simple cut. There's nothing too crazy going on with it. This is a really easy everyday style that you can wear with jeans and a t-shirt. You can wear with sweatpants and a hoodie, or you could even dress it up a little bit. So the lower density on this and the lack of poof, because it has no permatease, is gonna make it a lot easier to wear with those low-key outfits, like the jeans and t-shirt, like the sweatpants and a hoodie. But because of the styling, because of the face framing layers happening here, you can dress this up and make it look elegant if you wanted to by putting it in a little bit of an updo. This is a very fast updo I'm doing. Oh my Lord, that did absolutely nothing. I didn't grab any of the hair. I get panicky when I do this in front of everybody and I don't take my time. So let me get it back in an updo. But you could dress this up a little bit, do a bit of an updo, make it a little bit more glamorous. So Chelsea can kind of go either way, which is really great to have in a wig, because if you're someone who can only afford one wig at the moment, you want that wig to be as versatile as you can get it. You're not gonna necessarily want that poofy wig that only works when you dress up, or you don't necessarily want that one slick, straight, like low-key wig that only works with, you know, your dressed down outfits. It's nice to have something that can kind of go either way. And Chelsea is pretty good for that. Okay, let me take this off right now and let me show you the inside of Chelsea so you can take a quick peek. Now, like I said, all of Belle Tress's City Collection caps are essentially the same. The only difference is in the monofilament part and where that monofilament part is. So Chelsea has that center monofilament part that I was talking about that's only about an inch wide, and it goes straight into your lace front. And the great thing about these lace fronts now on these City Collection caps is that it melts into your ear tabs. It doesn't, or a lot of lace fronts tend to end right here. And there's an abrupt transition from lace into your cap, which makes it a little bit noticeable. But now they've melted that lace into the ear tab. See how it kind of gradually gets smaller and smaller, which makes that transition a little bit more seamless. So we also have open wefted cap, which makes it nice and lightweight and breathable and ventilated. It's also very stretchy because we have this elastic that puts together all of these rows here. The wefted caps just mean that it is machine sewn into rows, the rows being the wefts. So it's made with a machine, as opposed to this part up here is hand tied onto that monofilament here. Okay, what else? We have these velvet ear tabs, and then a velvet extended nape with your Velcro adjusters to adjust the size of your cap up to about 1/2 inch bigger or smaller. Okay, I'm gonna put Chelsea down now and show you Calabasas. Like I said, I've done a review on Calabasas, so I'm gonna go through this quickly and just basically put her on to show you the slight differences. So Calabasas, this cap is the exact same as Chelsea with the velvet ear tabs, open wefted cap, extended velvet nape, Velcro adjusters, but the difference is that Calabasas is a left part. So you can see how it's on the left-hand side of the cap here, whereas Chelsea was in the center. So we have a left part that goes into your lace front here. All right, let me get Calabasas on. You're gonna notice it is similar in the sense that there's not a lot of bells and whistles to the style. It has layering in the front. It is a low density. There is no permatease. The biggest difference is that it has a left part and that it is a little bit longer. I would say Calabasas is about an inch longer. You see how it goes a little bit past my shoulders here. Now, although you're also gonna find these nice soft layers on Calabasas, similar to Chelsea, one difference is that on Calabasas, you're gonna find that the layers start a little bit shorter. So kind of like mid-cheek. So they're gonna start a little bit shorter and then gradually cascade longer into the rest of your style here. Let me do a spin for you. Now, remember when I had Chelsea on, Chelsea had a bit of structure to her where the front layers kind of curved back and then the bob sort of came in with a bit of structure. Chelsea is gonna be a little bit more structured than Calabasas. Calabasas is gonna be a bit straighter. You can notice here that it doesn't curve in quite like Chelsea did. Now, I should say though, if you are not a fan of it sort of having that structure, you can use heat on it to straighten it out completely. Or if you are someone who wants that structure to it, you can use heat on Calabasas to bring it and curl it in a little bit. So with these heat-friendly fibers, you do have options to switch it up a little bit, which is a lot of fun. Here is the lace front on Calabasas, exactly the same as Chelsea. And I'm wearing that same color here. I'm still wearing Coolest Ash Brown. And then the left part on Calabasas here. So with that left part, it allows you to go deeper to the left, of course. So let me get it as far as I can. If you are a fan of those deep left parts, you can do that on Calabasas here. but what you cannot do is a right part. So you're gonna have to stick to the left part, deep left part, slight left part. Let me do as close to the center. When you get that slight left part, it's very close to the center. So if you are a center part girly, you could part it close to the center, maneuver it just a little bit if you're okay with having lopsided ear tabs. And look, all of a sudden she's pretty much center. So just like on Chelsea, how you could kind of maneuver the center part to go a little bit more left, you can kind of do the same thing with Calabasas, making that left part go a little bit more center if you want. But overall, it is technically a left part. Now, of course, the density on Calabasas is very similar to the density on Chelsea. There's also no permatease on Calabasas, just like there's no permatease on Chelsea. But here you can even see, just by looking at them here, you can see that structure in Chelsea a little bit more, sort of the curving in of the fibers, whereas on Calabasas, it's just a little bit straighter. And then of course, Calabasas, like I said, is just a little bit longer. Now, I'm gonna take Calabasas off, put Chelsea on one more time so we can see a really quick difference, just like right one after the other. So I'm taking off Calabasas, putting on Chelsea, and we can see how they differ. And hopefully that helps you decide which one might be more suited towards you. So you can see just a little bit shorter on Chelsea. And also those layers on Chelsea starting closer to your chin, as opposed to on Calabasas, just a few of those layers were starting at this point here. Now, one thing I didn't do with Calabasas, which I need to do for you, because I'm sure you guys will ask me, is I didn't put Calabasas in a little updo, so you can kind of see the difference. So I'm getting Calabasas back on, and I love how Calabasas has the shorter layers because I'm someone who does love those face framing layers in the front. So Calabasas is going into a ponytail easily. Of course, these layers in the front aren't gonna fit back, but like I said, I love that. I love having those out. So she fits in a ponytail. Now I've gotta find, oh, my claw. Okay, let me get her back into an updo. Here we go. Okay, so Calabasas also fits in an updo just like Chelsea, but you're gonna have shorter layers. So here she is. Again, not my best work when I do this fast. I would usually need to sit in front of a mirror for at least a minute to try and get the fibers where I want them to, but this is just a quick idea of what an updo could sort of look like with Calabasas. All right, you guys, I hope that this was helpful for you. I know how tricky it is to decide on what wig you want to get. It's so hard, but hopefully seeing the difference between Chelsea and Calabasas gives you a better idea of what these look like and what might work for you. Also, if there are any wigs that you are dying to see that maybe I haven't done a review of yet, or I haven't added into my content in some way, let me know below. I can't guarantee you that I can get it, but I will see what I can do, especially if I have a lot of people kind of requesting similar things. Please let me know and I can try my best to get a review out for you. But also let me know what you guys think of Chelsea and Calabasas and which one you think might work the best for you, if any of them do. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support and you guys being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye everybody.